Oh my God. I was sitting here. I'm like, I just went to get something and I'm coming back and I see all your comments. And I'm like, it's a minute early, but I couldn't wait. Hi. Um, so I have a few devices going on. Hopefully nobody can hear an echo. Um, Hi, Sylvia and Karen and Ida and Terry. How are you, Jess and Linda and Karen Sterling? Oh, I'm so excited. I have such a fun thing to do today. Let me bring it down so that you don't have to see all my apparatus here. I have all these screens going on. Hi, Rachel. I loved your project. I had to leave like towards the end to get my things organized, but I will catch up tomorrow. Hi, Peggy. So, guess what? We're going to have two sessions today. I'm kind of filling in a little slot that we had open. So, I'm like, oh, I have a project in two parts. I can do both. So, that's exciting. And I am going to do a scrapbooking mini album because, first of all, I love doing albums. Everybody that knows me knows I really love doing that. And also, I have a few people I promised that I will show how I go about making it and the decision. So it's going to be pretty easy, nothing too crazy. And of course, I practice because I always practice before. So the album that I'm gonna do is a small one. It's a 6.5 by 6.5, and the spine is 2 inches. And I went ahead and did that. If we're gonna have time for the second session, I might do it. If not, I'm gonna have a tape for you so that you can go back and watch. And we're going to do 6 pages, and it's gonna be so much fun. So let's begin. I'm going to actually move this a little bit. Hi, Terry. I'm so excited you all decided to stop by. I was worried that the hour is a little odd because it's 6 o'clock and it's dinner time. And I know people are, usually sit down for dinner. I'm so happy you're here. All right, I'm going to actually just enlarge this screen. Um, Let's remove me here, make this one bigger. And I'm gonna move this to the side. I don't really need to see myself 3 times. Okay, so what you're gonna need today for a mini album is you need some plain cardstock. I'm using black, it's very popular. This is 80 pounds weight, which is nice and flexible but still sturdy. This is good enough for small albums. You don't need the heavy, heavy one. I do have some of the heavier cardstock that's 110 weight. I like using this for belts and buckles and that kind of thing. So this is a little bit sturdier. And when I say belts and buckles, I mean something like this, things like that. So when I do those, I like to use a sturdier one. Yeah. I know I died 6 o'clock here too. Oh my goodness. Well, Karen, you're 11 o'clock over there. You're in the UK. Where are you at, Karen Sterling? Okay. I'm really grateful that you all are here. Seriously. Hi, Sam. Oh my goodness, you're still up. Okay, so I have my trimmer here, and it's a double trimmer with a scoreboard, and I like using those when I do this one when I do a live because it's easy. And I have the Botany by Minte. It's one of their new collections they came out, and it's really pretty. So I'll be using this, and I have already some things prepared like measurements. So let's begin. The album, the cover is 6.5 by 6.5, and usually I like to make the pages about a half an inch smaller in measurement. So my pages will be 6 by 6. Okay. Oh, hi, Nikki. How are you? And Sylvia. Oh, my goodness. We have everybody here. Okay. So we're going to do pocket pages. And a pocket page has 2 openings, one on each side, so that when you put it onto the album, you can add a pocket like, where is this one? This one that will be easier to show. What am I doing here? Okay, I want to show you a pocket. Here's the pocket. See this? It opens up both sides from here and from here. And one side will go onto the album, and one side you can fit in another photo mat. So it's a really nice feature that I like to do on my albums. So to do a pocket page, I'm making my base ½ inch larger on one side. So my page is 6 by 6. I want to make it 6 by 6.5. So it's 6 on one side, 6.5 on the other side. And I'm going to score it a ½ inch along the 6.5 inch side. And I'm using my score tool to score a line. And when you fold it, it has this little thing here that I call it a wing. If you make 2 of them, you attach one to the other and it will create a pocket. Let's go ahead and make another one so that I can show you what I'm talking about. The second one will be exactly the same size, 6 by 6.5. And I'm going to score it at a ½ inch here. Hi, Lady Fair. How are you? Oh. Okay, so now we have both of the same. And I'm going to use tape for this one. But, you know, when I do this album in particular, I'm going to be using a combination of double side tape as well as regular glue, just because the regular glue will be faster. Okay. When you put double side tape, always burnish it well to get rid of all air pockets if possible. So you take the tape out and you put it on the opposite side of the wing that you have over here. Like that. And then you can take this one out. And maybe I'll just take a tool. It'll make my life so much easier if I use a tool. If I can just find where I put it, everything will be great. Okay. That's one of them. Just like a dental pick tool. It helps not using your nails, you know. Not that I have any. Okay, so I put both of them together, and that's my pocket. Now my pocket have to be on the left and on the right, and I build the page this way. Okay, so let's make some flaps. There are right flaps, left flaps, top flaps. We're going to do all of them today. So I'm making a right flap now, and I'm going to cut it at 6.5 by 4.5. That's 4.5 by 6.5. And I want to score it along the 6.5 inch side. So I put the 6.5 on top, and I score it at a ½ inch. Most score lines I do ½ inch. If it's a double score, I do it at a ½ inch, and again at 5/8. I'm not going to do any double scoring today. First of all, because it's, you know, a beginner's project. And second, it's just faster this way. And it's a small album, not too many flaps, so I don't need to do a double score, but I will show it to you just so you know what a double score is. Okay, so a right flap, I'm actually going to put it right, let's put it here on the right side. And I want to make sure I'm putting it in the center, like that. So that's a right flap if I'm holding my page this way and it flaps to the right. Now I want to put another one. I'm going to cut this one at 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. So I'm going to remove 1/4 inch here. And I'm scoring it at a 1/2 inch. Now, I did the other right flap at 6 1/2, and I'm doing this one at a 6 1/4 because I want to put it underneath. And I don't want it to interrupt the movement. If I make it too long, it'll be too close to the fold line. So I made it a little shorter, like that. Okay. So now it's 6 1/4, and I have, I'm going to use regular tape. I'm using regular glue again, just to make it faster. I hope it's okay with you. Also, if you're starting out, it's a good idea to use regular glue because if you messed up, you can pull it up and back down. If you use tape, it's a little more difficult. Okay, so now you can see that there is a space here. And if I fold it down, it's not going to interrupt my movement. Okay, so it's a double right flap. Now let's make another one on the left. The one on the left, I can do the same as 6 1/2 by 4 1/2, or yeah, that's good. Okay. And we're going to put it on the left, like that. Before I attach it with glue, I just want to make sure that it is not too long, because then again, it will interrupt the movement. And I can already tell it's a little bit too long. You see how it's coming out? So I'm going to trim it a little bit. Just going to give it a little bit of trim. Okay, I'm going to try to read your comments here. Lady Fair says that she loves mini album and she had made a few. That's great. Would love to see. If you can share it with me, I'd love to see it. I always like to see other people's mini albums too. Always something new to learn. Okay. The lady said that she puts art glitter glue on the tape. Yes, that's a really good tip for everybody. You put art glitter glue. That's art glitter glue. And you use a tape and you put that on top of it so that you're going to have the benefits of both. You know, the art glitter glue is strong and it also allows you to maneuver the tape a little bit. Thank you for the tip. That's a really good tip. Okay. And Ida said, yes, glue stick is cheaper. It's true. But a lot of times on mini albums, it doesn't last as long. And on the mini album, it gets a lot of stress. and the art glitter glue will last you a long time. So that's why I like using that. Okay, so this is page 1. The only thing I want to add now before I forget is I want to add a magnet. If I don't do it now, I will forget because I'm forgetful that way. So I'm going to take some magnets, and I have those flat magnets, and I have them in different sizes. So I want, when I do the album, I want this one to close this way. So I will put a magnet on here in the center on this part. And the second one, I'm taking the tape and I'm figuring out which side, which way the magnet goes. I put it on top of the tape and I put it this way so that the sticky part is on the top like that. Now, if I bring this down, I have it right here. And this is the exact location where I need the magnets to be. Then we're going to put some paper and it will cover it up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do page 2, and then we're going to start decorating, because if you know the decorating part, it's the more interesting part. This is just the building of the album, and you can use any kind of paper you like. This is really a very basic 6x6 album. Okay, so for the page 2, or section B as I call it, I'm just going to do 2 top flaps. I'm going to cut 2 pieces, one at 6.5 by 5, and one I'm going to do 6.5 by 4. Okay, so I'm going to take my page, cut it here at 6.5, and do one 5 inches, one 4 inches, and I'm going to score it twice along the 6.5 inch side. So if you see the S when you get the cut list, and I'll have the cut list for you ready to download as I always do, you'll have 6.5 with a little S at the end, which means you put the 6.5 side on the top. So we're going to do one. Let's cut it down. Claire, knew what you mean. Let me see. Oh, I have to back do a little bit. Oh, thank you. Terry says that she's loving this project so far. I appreciate it. And Claire is like telling Crafty I am that she knows what she meant. Usually use art glitter glue over tape for that wiggle room too. Yeah, it's a really, really good tip. Okay, so I want to show you what they mean when they mean art glitter to over tape, in case you're watching it and you're not sure what it means. So you take a tape and you put it down wherever you need it to go. And I'm going to just cut this a little bit here. I went a little too far. I removed the tape, or the top part, and now I'm going to put some glue over this. Right now I want to put it on the left side. Remember, I have the hole here and the hole here. Like, this is my pocket and it's my top part. I think it's my top part. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So I want to put it all over the left side. And let's say I don't like where I put it. I'm like, oh my God, I put it crooked. You'll be able to pick it up. See how easily it comes up, and put it back in. And now when you're sure that this is where you want it to go, you just go over it with your sport tool and press it down. So now it doesn't come out. If you did not use double the glue, once you put it down, and that's it. Okay, let's take the tape out. And I'm going to put this one over the top flap all the way to the left again. Like that. So let's say now you put it down and you don't like it. You're like, oh, you can't take it out. It's going to be a problem. So now I have two top flaps, 1 and 2. And I have this cascading 1-inch space between. So these are my 2 pages. Let's break the pack. I don't know if anybody's seen Botany. It's one of Minte's new collections that just came out. It's a beautiful paper. And Pam, if you're watching, this is for you, honey. Because you said you can't stop looking at this paper. So guess what? You're not the only one. And I know you have some of this paper. So let's break it down and make an album. So this is the paper. On Minte, you get a bonus sheet with a lot of the cutouts, which you can cut out and then use it to decorate the album. And also, it comes with, not the pack, but you can get the die cuts. So it has a pack of die cuts, or you can get stickers. And any of those will also do to decorate your album if you're like me and you don't like fussy cutting. And then you have 12 sheets. So you have 2 of each. And I'm going to try to make the album from only 6 of them. I'm not sure if I can, but maybe. So we'll start. You can make this particular album that I'm doing today with 6 sheets, and you might need maybe one more so you can take a solid color cardstock to fill in the gaps. So let's see what we have. Now I'm looking at the paper that I have, and what I'm trying to figure out is which page or which part of the page I want to be using for my cover. Now, I always take the cover out before I begin. So this one has a lot of little cards. You see the 6x6s, which I'm going to be using maybe for inserts. So I'll put this aside. Or I can use it for the background. No, there's no background. There's also inserts. So I have 5 pages here. These are so pretty. Those florals are just really gorgeous. So I have 3 florals here. And this is really pretty. You know, this is not a bad thing to do on the cover. And then we can maybe put some, we can play with the heights, and maybe we can put some cards. Yeah, you know what? I am really liking this for the cover. And here we have some black. So just really look at the paper before you begin an album and decide where going to be your major designs that you want to keep whole. You know, and in your head you already know where you're going to be cutting it. Hi Carrie, how are you? Hi Claire. Okay. So Carrie says, every time I order score tape, I think it's going to be a large roll, and it's not. Where did you buy that large roll of score tape? Well, actually, I do have it for sale on my store at creativetreasures.com or creative-treasures.com. But they come standard. This is score tape, SCOR tape. And comes standard in different widths. So I have usually 4 that I'm using, and I'll show you the 4 that I have. This is a 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, the 1/2 an inch, and the 5/8. But that's basically how it comes. They all are the same size. Okay. All right, so we decided I'm going to do this one for the cover. So let's see where I'm going to cut. And I want a 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 for the cover. So I think I'm going to use maybe this one here, or maybe part of this. If I take this one, I'm just trying to figure out where my cut line is going to be. So I put it on 6 1/4. This is okay for me here. I don't know if I want this here. And that's my cut line is going to be here. You know what? I think I like this part right there. So I'm just going to cut to 6. Maybe I'll do 6 and 6. It'll give me more wiggle room. And I'll be able to save another half for the other page. So I'll do 6 by 6. Like that. And this is pretty. And this is pretty. And I also have this one. And this one. Okay, so I just went ahead and cut this page into 4 sections of 6 by 6, and I'm going to be using, I'll be using them for the cover. So for the cover, you need 2 for the outside, 2 for the inside. I also have this one. I'm digging this one, so I might use a whole other sheet of this. Because I have 2. Guess what? I have 2. I have another one here. Okay. So I know what I'm using for the cover, and I know what I can use for the inside. Let's see, I have. So for the inside of here, I cut this at 4 1/2. I want the pattern paper to be 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. And this is the first thing that you're going to see, the first page that you're going to see when you open your album. So you want it to be fun. You want it to be nice and pretty. You can either do this page or this page. So let's pick a nice pattern to go in the front. So this is nice. This is nice. What else we have? I'm digging this here. And we have that too here. I'm trying to imagine what goes where. So I like this. I also like that it has a little round circle. I can insert a little picture in here. So let's cut that. Okay, before we go ahead and cut, I just want to mention something. I know, Rachel, right? Those paper are gorgeous. I want to mention that you always have to be mindful before you cut it, the direction that the pattern goes. Because if you're going to be cutting, let's say, this way, you don't want to glue it crooked, like sideways. So think about how you want to cut the paper. If I'm looking at my page, this one, it goes up to, I want a pattern to go narrow here and white here. So I will be probably choosing this one. But if I want this to be here, then the pattern will have to go this way. So choose which way you want to go and how you're going to benefit the most from the pattern of your paper. And looking at this, I think I have it both. I have the long one here because this has a handle that goes long ways there. And then I can use this flower that goes on top to be sideways. Okay, so look at your patterns. I'm going to cut this. First, let me get rid of the little train here. We don't need this. It's interfering. Okay. So this one here will go on top here. On here. So this is 4 inches wide. I want it 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. I cut this out to go here. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this piece to go on this side. So I'm going to cut this here at we said 4 1/4, so I need this, no, it's 4 1/2. I need this at 4 1/4. You want this side or this side? This side or this side? I'll do this side. Okay. And this will go here. Now watch what I've done. I want to show you clearly what I'm doing. I cut the pattern paper not at the same size as the bottom part that I'm putting this on the base that I'm putting this on. It's always a little bit less. And I like leaving about 1/8 of an inch around. So to have an eighth of an inch border, you have to cut it at 1/4 inch less of the measurements of the base you're putting it on. Okay? And that will leave you a nice border. Another thing that you want to do with your pattern paper is ink the edges in some way. One of my favorite ways to ink the edges is to actually take ink and ink it. So let's say I'm taking a little brown ink, and you can go ahead and ink it like that. And you get a very nice border around your page. Okay, but because we are short on time today, we're not going to do all of them like that because it is time consuming. What I'm going to do instead is something else I do sometimes, and it's just as good, is I'm taking permanent marker with a chiseled edge, and I just go over the edges like that. And what it does, it just takes out the white core. So you don't see the white core, and you see a very nice ending to the page. So this is what we're going to do today. But I'm showing you 2 ways. You choose which way you prefer. Okay, let's glue this on. All right. I'm using regular glue just to make it faster today. But I like using the scar tape. more than just regular glue, just because I think the outcome looks nicer. It ripples a little less. So don't put too much glue. It'll work fine. So that's one. See, I have the writing right side up. It's my pattern. Turn it around, and I have the top flap here. I'm going to put this right here. Okay, see, I moved it a little. If you have regular glue, you can just pick it up and put it back down. Okay, so these are the first two things that you see when you turn the page. Now, what do I want here? You know, remember I have, this will show, but this is the bottom flap. So maybe if I just put black here, it'll give me the distance. You know, it's called color blocking. You have a dark one and a light one next to each other. So it'll bring this one up. So this is 5 by 6, and I need it to leave a little border. So I'm going to cut my pattern paper at 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. So look here to see which side I want to use. I think probably use this one. Okay. So 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let's cut it like that. Here's my piece. Don't forget the edges. And we're going to put it right there. Okay, so we pretty much touched on a lot of the basics, and from here on out, it's the same process. You look at your patterns, you look at your paper, and you make a decision where you want to put what. I think I want to put the flowers here now. So I need this to be at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let's take this out. Here we go, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, a lot of times people, I'm not sure about where to place the photographs when you do a mini album. It's a big dilemma. Now, I'll tell you what, when I do mine, I don't really think about the placement of the photographs when I do the album itself. I'm more of a color person, so I like to look at the colors more than I look at the patterns. But here, let's take a photo here. This is my mom and me. So I'm going to cut it a little bit, all the edges. Nice. Okay. So I can do it like that, or I can even cut it smaller. I don't really need the background. So let's cut it a little smaller. If we want to make it square, So I will have no problem cutting through the pictures. You can put it like that, like that. You can decide how you want to do it. So let's say this is your picture. Let's make a nice background to it. I'm going to actually take about ooh, I took solid color cardstock here. I'm going to make a little background. I take the piece that I want to put down and just cut around. There we go. Let's have some fun. Let's cut some edges. My tool, this is We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Trimmer. You can do this, or you can even trim the corners of your photographs. Okay. It's kind of fun to put it here. No, I don't want to put it here. I have to put it a little bit more to the center, because this goes down and I don't want it to show. So I'll put it in the center. Okay, I need to catch up on some comments here. Oh my goodness, I have so many. Oh, okay. Yes, Crafty AM says marker come in so many colors. It's true. One of my favorites is actually gold. I use a lot of gold in my album making, and I like the Prismacolor metallic gold. And I also have silver, and I have them in other colors, but I use permanent. Okay. Yeah, the color blocking makes the color pop, Linda says. And oh, thank you very much. She says it's very pretty. And Claire says, I'm still in shock. How neatly edges the paper with a pen. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's move on to this one. Going to decide how I want over here, what I want to do. I have to do 1, 2, I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. We can use this, or we can use this. All right, so I need 4 1/4 by 6. No, by, let's cut this in half here. Let's do it here. 5 3/4 here, and I'm going to take this out of here, and I think we're going to need to trim this a little bit less. Okay. My right side is this. My right side is here. And here. Okay, so remember we cut this in half, and I have 2 halves here. So this actually make 1. And if you're not sure where you want to cut it, you can always take a pencil, put it down, and mark it. And the same here. Take it down and mark it. But over here, I think this is pretty good how we cut it. Over here, I want to trim it at 5 1/2. 1, 2. Just want to show you how it comes out. Oh, the little girl come to say hello. Hi, Miss Charlotte. And I can't pick you up now because Mommy's doing a live. It's my little dog. All my lives you'll hear me talk to my dogs because, yeah, I talk to my dogs. And I know I'm not the only one, so don't judge. Okay. I think this one might have been here. Yeah, this one comes here. All right, time to take the tape down. And I have the magnet here, and now putting the paper on top here will cover the magnet. So I just want to add a little bit extra glue here and around. And this will make sure that the magnet is not going to be swimming under the paper over there. That's one, and this is my second one. Do the same thing here. See, now you really can't see the magnet under, but it will still be strong. Okay, you hear it? I love that sound. I love that sound. Karen says, I love it. Oh, thank you. Lady Farah says it's very pretty, and this paper is so pretty. I know paper is gorgeous. Every time Minte comes out with their new paper, you know, I always excited to see what comes out. And I love florals anyway, but these colors really are pretty. You know, they're still vintagey and just right up my alley. Okay, so we have these 2 things here, and now we have this whole spread to cover, and I need 1, 2, 3. Over here, if you like, you can always put a pocket and add things to it. But I have this big thing here, which I love. You know, it's really pretty. So I can put this here together with that. I think the colors also fit. That's my mom and my daughter when my daughter was young. So I like that for here. So you're really not going to see a whole lot. And if I put this like that, it will kind of hide it. So maybe not this one. Let me see. Maybe put another one. How about I'll put this here. And this here. It's kind of fun. just taking the edges out of this photograph. So I have it 3.5 by 5.5. And I think it'll fit really nicely here. Yep. Yep, pretty nice. You see, but it leaves me nice two edges here. So now that I'm thinking about what I want to put here, I don't even need to put the whole paper. I just need two little strips here and here. The same thing on the other side. Let's trim it the same size at 3.5 by 5.5. And these are regular 4 by 6 photographs that I'm just trimming the edges off. If you have photographs that you want to make, leave larger, that's still fine. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll just take a little trim from here and put this on both edges. 1/4 inch may be sufficient. It's a 1/4 inch strip, and let's take another one. Five and a half and 5.5. 5.5 and 5.5. And yes, I'm going to ink the edges here too. It just makes it so much nicer. The only thing I'm not happy about is I think I didn't cut them even like these. This is too narrow. So I'm going to cut another piece because I want it even. I'm really trying to keep my desk clean this time. How am I doing? I'm doing a good job, you think? Oh, my nemesis. Okay, so who was talking about white lizards? Oh, is that a bird? Bird where? Oh, on the photograph? Yes, it's a bird. That was my dad's bird. The last time I had birds in my house, actually, no, I had birds in my house. I forgot. But I don't think this particular one is the one I had. Yeah, I had a bird, and then I got a dog. I adopted a Rottweiler. I didn't know it was a Rottweiler, but it was a Rottweiler, and he kept going after my bird. So I had to give the bird away because I was afraid it's going to really cause harm one day. So it was heartbreaking. Like you don't know what to do. Which pet are you going to choose? The bird, the dog, the bird, the dog. But it was a lot easier to give away a bird than it was to give away a Rottweiler. Honestly, even though he was new in the family. Okay, I'm going to remove this, put this on the side for now. And I want to in those two. Those little things, those little steps that you are taking when you're making an album really do matter. So, um, if you skip them to save town, it's your choice. But I found that it really goes a long way into making your um, work, giving it a nice finished look. I'm going to put one strip here and one strip here. So it just adds a little color and it saves on paper. You don't really need to put paper underneath if you already know what pictures you're going to be putting in your scrapbook. I'm going to bring it closer. Oh, you see me? What happened? Oh, okay. We don't need to see my face, I don't think. I'll remove this one. Okay, I wanted to show you closer. See? It's because I have the mouse here, and when I touch it, it moves. Okie doke. And we have this one. It's one of my favorite photographs. I hope my daughter's not going to be mad that I'm showing her photographs, but I'm doing when she was little. So hopefully she's okay with that. Okay. So I'm going to put this one here. Okay. And the two strips on both sides here. So what we're getting here is it's a little bit of symmetry in the composition. Okay. And let's put this one right there in the middle. So we need this one at 5 and 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this, of course, I'm putting aside. And I think I'm going to do this pattern for here. Because look at my colors. It needs a little more green. I have the green here, so I think it ties it together with the green floors here. Okay, so this was 5 and oh, I have a mess here again. Take my ruler. It is 5 3/4. So I want this to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Quarter by 5 1/2. It should fit nicely in there. And always, before you put the glue, always put it on top of the space where you need it to go, in case you need to make adjustments. Okay, so guys, we are almost out of time right now. We're going to come back in an hour and finish this up. Okay, for now I'm going to just cut it out and make the preparation for the next section. All right, so we'll see you in a little bit. Isabel, you won one of my pieces from the Ukraine hip. Oh, I'm so happy. This is fantastic. Let me just put my face back up so I can say goodbye properly. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm really, really happy that you came here, at least for the first part. If you want to see this project finished, join me at 8 o'clock. Down below, you have the link for the next hop, for the next live. And I hope I'll see you in a little bit. Enjoy, and thank you. Really, really, I really appreciate everybody that came and stopped by. I appreciate it. Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much for enjoying. Hi, Karen. And I will see you in an hour.